Billy the Melvin, she on a roll. From Nairobi streets, making hearts whole. Motivation flow.
So when you talk about responsibility, actually, when now we talk about adulthood or rather adulting, responsibility was one thing that actually shocked me completely because now here you find that you have to parent yourself, and sometimes it's not easy because there is a lot. There is a lot. I do not know about you, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So responsibility, actually paying the bills, sometimes you feel like, why don't you just like enjoy your money, your money and stuff? You're like, hey, you have to do 1, 2, 3, blah 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 blah. So taking responsibility was one thing that actually shocked me completely because I was like, right now I could be like at home, my mom, my dad, they're doing 1, 2, 3 for me. Now they are not here. I have to do it by myself. I have to, I don't know. And you just like make a silliest decision. It's over for you. It affects you. Yeah, it affects you completely. You find that as you struggle also with life, and you feel like, today I don't have money for this. Again, with adulting, personally, to some point I used to fear even just going back to my parents and telling them, I'm stuck, I need help. True. With responsibility, that part,
that is,
it was the
I remember
part.
The first time I moved out. I moved out of my mom's house. I went to live with someone. Someone was hosting me. And now when the time came, I don't know whether this is the experience for everyone or just me. When the time came, I had always wished to live on my own. You know, there's that thrill that you tell yourself, no, this is my house. But it was just a thought in my head. I hadn't fully thought about it or weighed the magnitude of what that would look like. So I moved out of that friend's house, and now I'm in my own house. Let me tell you, it was so scary. It was so scary. It was like the house is too small, but it's again too big. I'm like, who do I talk to? I'm on my own. Now it started dawning on me. I think that is the point where it dawned on me. And that was like, I think 2 years or 3 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, it's now happening. It's now happening. I cannot call anyone. Okay, I could call my friends, and I was telling them, oh my God, it's so scary. And they were telling me, but it's like that. The first 1 month or 2 months, you're like, oh my God, it's so scary living on your own, especially if you're straight from living with your mom, you have people to talk to. It's so scary.
Now it's you.
And
the house.
Let me tell you. Oh my God. And for those who didn't have the liberty of having a lot when you moved out, you definitely know. It is just you and the world. And maybe you start, for most of us, when we are starting out, maybe we don't have the liberty to start out with a lot. Maybe a mattress on the floor, or you're just starting. Because that's the reality. We can't pretend that we started from, getting everything. So it was wow.
But again, now if you say you had somebody who hosted you, I don't know what the experience was, because if I try to look at me moving out from being hosted and now starting afresh, it actually felt peaceful.
Wow.
Very peaceful. You don't have much, but again,
there's that. Peace. Of course, there's that. There's that aspect of peace. That this is now my house. I don't have to share things. How I left my bed, that's the way I'm going to find it. There's that part. I do not refute that fact. But that companionship, I think, having someone around you, I think we as humans, we are meant to just be around each other.
I think for me it was a bit different because, come to think of it, I just felt happy.
Wow.
It didn't matter that I was alone for a very long period of time. Me, so long as I have my radio with me, I'm just okay. So I could talk, because there was somebody, I think one of my friends once shared, the guys who stay alone, how do they cope with everything? Because you're coming, you're talking to your sufurias and stuff. And I was telling them, I don't find it difficult. Because sometimes I'll just talk. I'll talk with Belinda, we'll laugh, and then we start saying, yeah, you're funny.
Yeah. Oh.
So I think with me, because you'll find actually the point that you're saying, that somebody they're just there alone, they find it so boring because you miss family, maybe friends being around and stuff. But now you're just on your own. Reality now starts kicking.
Yes, that is the point.
Yeah.
Wow. What a journey. What a journey.
Yeah. Adulthood.
Yeah.
So what was that one thing that shocked you about adulting? Mine, it was responsibility.
I've gotten it. I think it's the realization that people out here are looking out for themselves. Let me tell you. When that dawned on me, so that happened after a series of things. So I moved into this new job, and I'm thinking, you know what, the person who organized it for me is looking out for the best of my interest. But at the end of the day, behind the picture, they're just looking out for themselves. That happened, and that shocked me. It actually shook me to the core. Then I moved out of that organization. It was my first time ever in a corporate job. I was doing something when I was at home. I was doing online jobs and all that. Yeah, online campaigns and all that. But now I decided to look for a corporate job. And when I moved from that first company, the friends I had made in that company, they didn't even call me. They didn't even text me. They did. Oh my God, I was on my own.
You were figuring out life on your own.
Yes. I had one friend particularly who was so helpful, but all the rest of them, even the person who I thought, had my back, I mean, I was so innocent. I was so naive. Not even innocent. I was so naive back then. So I think that was the point what shocked me most about adulting, that everyone out here, most people out here, is out here looking out for themselves. I think that was it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It's not awesome. It's profound. Let me tell you, it was shocking. It's not awesome. Guys, do your finding like honey.
So another thing also to add on what also like shook me kabisa, bills. Actually, things are just changing.
Yeah.
I remember while growing up, there were no like nowadays when you are living on rentals, you hear you have to pay for the electricity, for
you
water,
have to pay for garbage.
Actually, what I knew we used to pay for while growing up was garbage and maybe the rent. While growing up, what I saw my parents paying.
I had never seen that before.
You have never seen that before.
You're paying for garbage?
It was
what
only
do you
garbage.
mean I'm paying for my trash? Oh my God.
Garbage alone. But now I'm coming back to Nairobi, and now here in Thika, I find that everything life is not like how it used to be back in the days. So from water, I have to pay for water. I have to pay for electricity. I have to pay for
house rent, and it's garbage. Every month, guys. It's every month, not once. Every month.
And then leave alone that you're thinking that you have done everything. Now we have the SHA. We have the, I don't know what. The shoe,
and NSSF.
We have
the government is coming for your little money.
We have the, what's remaining there?
Exactly.
Actually,
it's tough. It's T for tough.
So paying bills actually. The bills.
That one of bills really shook you,
It really shook me. And sometimes I even miss my parents because how are they managing actually back in the days? Yeah. Catering for...
our parents, we have to salute them because now when you look at things, maybe you're 4 or even 3 of you or 5 of you, they're getting a salo of 10 Gs or even less than 10 Gs. And you are in school, they're able to afford your school fees. For my mom, She was able to afford my fee. How she did it, I have no
don't
idea.
know. You
I
don't
have no idea. And I'm going to come back to that, that point. Please hold that thought for me. How she navigated that with a salary of less than 10 Gs. Because back then she used to make less than that. But the economy wasn't as bad as now. But it was still as bad. The inflation was still there. How she managed to pay for my fees. I was never chased from school. I went to a private uni. And she was able to cater for all that.
And the way private unis
Private
are very
uni,
expensive.
even if you're there under government sponsorship, you still have to pay some money. So she would pay for my hostel, she would feed me, and all that, all those things. And then you wonder, oh my God, how is she able to do all that?
Billy the Melvin, she on a roll.